Barton was born on Christmas Day in 1821. She was a shy, timid little girl, barely able to speak in public. Once, when her friends tried to tease her, she was so afraid that she fainted. She would go on, though, to become a teacher, a battlefield nurse, and an international leader. But she always said, "I would rather stand behind the lines of artillery at Antietam or cross the pontoon bridge under fire at Fredericksburg than be expected to speak in public." She became a teacher at 16 years old, and it was as a teacher that her extraordinary compassion for humanity and her incredible ability to anticipate need became obvious. She founded New Jersey's first free children's school when she saw children on the streets. These children She founded New Jersey's first free school when she saw children on the streets. Her first class was only 20 students, but a year later, she would have over 600. When she lost the position because it was deemed unseemly for a woman to lead a school, she went to D.C. and obtained the first female clerkship at the U.S. Patent Office. Then the Civil War began, and the focus of Clara's life changed forever.
I joined up with the 12th New Jersey Volunteer Infantry about a year or so into the war. Then I got shot at during Gettysburg, and I remember sitting there with the rest of my fellows waiting to get patched up when all of a sudden this lady started walking towards us. I remember thinking, well, that's strange, because they don't let women that far in front of the lines. Well, she came closer, and it turns out that was my old school teacher, Miss Barton. I've never been so happy to see anyone. You know what she told me? A brave man is just one who thinks about others before himself. That always sort of stuck with me. Anyhow, I tugged at her skirt, and she told me that once when she went to go see President Lincoln, she wanted to be a battlefield nurse, so she knocked real hard on his door and said that she wasn't going to leave until he let her go. Well, it turns out that he did. She was brave enough to do that, and she patched me up real good and told me that everything was going to be okay. She even saw all the Army people and taught them how to teach each other how to patch themselves up too. You know, I think it's teachers who are supposed to be proud of their students, but I was really proud of Miss Barton that day.
It was her devotion to the common soldier that earned her the title Angel of the Battlefield. She was the angel of their battlefield. Clara had no proper medical training, but she was always willing to do whatever was necessary to relieve suffering at the battlefront. She never seemed afraid of anything at all. Someone help me get this man back off of the lines! Lieutenant, I need you to move those supplies further down! No, Captain, I will not move back! Someone help me get this man to the surgeons! Clara was brave, and she was compassionate, but what made her so effective was her incredible sense of practicality and foresight. The Battle of Antietam was the single most bloody battle of the Civil War. Doctors tended to the wounded all throughout the day, but when night fell, they could no longer see to perform surgery. So the head field surgeon left the barn that was serving as an operating theater, walked back into the house, and laid his head in his hands. Then he felt a hand on his shoulder. He looked up to see Clara standing over him.
"You are tired, Doctor." "Yes, I am tired. I'm tired of all this human incompetence and this foolishness and neglect which leaves me with 500 soldiers, all of whom will die before daybreak unless I have some light." "I have brought you lanterns, Doctor. You will have plenty of light and plenty of assistance.
Don't despair in your good work.
When the Civil War ended, the suffering of battle was over, but the nation was still in pain. So Clara set up an office of correspondence, where she devoted herself to discovering the fates of the missing soldiers and notifying their grieving families. One day, a young man named Dorrance Atwater came to her.
Miss Barton, I heard you're the one to see about locating missing soldiers, ma'am. I was at the Confederate prison at Andersonville, Georgia, ma'am. I brought this book along with me. It's got names in it. All the boys that I could find. 13,000 names in it, ma'am. They're unburied, ma'am. I thought maybe you could do something about that.
Clara certainly did do something. She convinced Congress to identify the graves of 13,000 soldiers and create a national cemetery. She herself raised the flag. Then, when Clara went to Switzerland to recover her health, she discovered a relief organization called the Red Cross. Clara was elated and immediately began to campaign for an American chapter. The Red Cross was originally an organization devoted to wartime relief efforts, but Clara saw the potential for the Red Cross to do something even more good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to speak to you today about the formation of a national organization. It is a society that already exists in many other countries. It exists to give aid voluntarily and neutrally, based on international agreements to protect the sick and the wounded during wartime. I am here to encourage the formation of an American chapter, to be called the American Red Cross. It would be a society to organize relief efforts and instruct our citizens in basic medical care. Because it is a deplorable weakness of a great people that we do not know how, in an emergency, to care for the injured. But I have a greater vision for the Red Cross. I hope that the American Red Cross render aid not only in war, but also in natural disasters and epidemics. Because war, although the most tragic, is not the only evil that assails humanity. I present this to you, my countrymen and women, hoping that you will see the necessity of a society devoted to the relief of suffering and the potential good that it could accomplish for many generations to come.
After successfully forming an American chapter, Clara went on to convince the International Red Cross to adopt peacetime relief work as well. After she retired, she created a National First Aid Society, later incorporated into the Red Cross, where she worked to develop a standardized first aid kit. By then, she was well into her 80s. She died on April 12, 1912. Clara had spent her life anticipating and meeting need wherever she could. Her innovations changed relief on an international scale. She not only envisioned a world with less suffering, but set out to make it a reality in whatever way that she could. It was this practical strength and complete focus on the task at hand that allowed her to be so successful. Clara was an angel who rolled up her sleeves and was willing to do whatever was necessary. When asked where she found the strength to face danger and tragedy, she said, "You must never think whether it is like something or not, whether it is bearable or not. You must only think of the need and how to meet it."